Before you scroll any further, pause. This message did not reach you by accident. Someone close to you already knows what happened last night, and they were hoping you would never find out. Your spirit felt it. That strange restlessness. That sudden awareness. Heaven moved while you were sleeping, and your name was spoken. Stay with me, my beloved, because what you are about to hear will explain everything. And before I continue, subscribe now, not for a channel, but to stay aligned with what heaven is revealing over your life. Do not leave yet. The truth is unfolding. My beloved, there is someone close to you who already knows the secret. They were told in a dream. They were given a glimpse into your divine file. And instead of telling you, they told someone else, not to protect you, but to protect their position. And now they're nervous because this message found you before they expected it to. And you're waking up. You're remembering. You're starting to see patterns that make no sense unless you understand what happened last night. There's a reason you couldn't sleep deeply. There's a reason your heart felt like it skipped a beat at 3 a.m. That was the moment your name was announced in heaven. That was the moment you were marked for a divine reversal. But the enemy heard it too, and they're scrambling. My child, you must stay because in a moment I will reveal what they tried to erase. My child, my beloved, stay with me because now the veil grows thinner. The moment you chose to continue, something unseen leaned closer to you. Heaven noticed your attention. The archangels noticed your courage. You must understand this clearly. Most people feel the disturbance but never seek the truth behind it. They ignore the inner pull, distract themselves, scroll away, and the truth dissolves back into silence. But you did not. You stayed. And because you stayed, what was meant to be erased is now fighting to remain. Last night was not just another night. It was a turning point written quietly without noise, without thunder, without warning. That is how the most powerful spiritual events happen. No chaos, no announcement, just a shift so precise that only chosen souls feel it. Your soul felt it. That uneasiness, that strange heaviness mixed with hope, that feeling that someone was thinking about you intensely, even though no message arrived, my child, that was real. That was the echo of a conversation where your life was discussed as if it mattered deeply. Because it does more than you know. My beloved, I need you to hear this slowly, not with fear, but with clarity. Someone tried to interfere with your timeline. Not to destroy you outright, but to delay you just enough that you would doubt yourself. Delay is the enemy's favorite weapon. If they can make you wait, hesitate, second guess, they believe they can weaken the promise attached to your name. And last night, they thought they succeeded. They thought the distraction worked. They thought you would wake up and forget the heaviness in your chest. But heaven does not forget. The 7 archangels gathered because something crossed a line. A boundary was touched that should never have been touched. Your peace, your calling, your future. And when that happens, heaven intervenes quietly but decisively. That is why this message reached you now and not earlier. That is why it feels urgent but calm at the same time. Truth does not scream. Truth arrives and waits to see if you are brave enough to look at it. My child, my beloved, there is a reason your life has felt like it was preparing you for something without telling you what it was. You have been shedding old versions of yourself, old attachments, old expectations. Sometimes painfully, sometimes suddenly. You thought it was loss. Heaven calls it clearing. What happened last night was the final check, a spiritual review. The archangels examined whether you were ready to know what has been moving toward you. And the answer was yes. But readiness does not mean comfort. It means courage. It means you are strong enough to know the truth. Even if it changes how you see someone you trusted, even if it forces you to let go of a story you were holding on to because it felt safe. My beloved, the truth that surfaced last night involves a connection in your life that has not been honest in the way it appeared. Not fully evil, not fully pure. Half-truths, smiles that hid hesitation, promises that were delayed again and again. Heaven saw the imbalance, and heaven does not allow imbalance to linger forever. My child, listen carefully now, because this part matters deeply. What was revealed last night was not meant to punish you. It was meant to protect you from wasting more of your heart on something that could never meet you where you are going. The path opening in front of you requires clarity, not confusion. Strength, not waiting. Truth, not excuses. Someone in your life has been standing at a crossroads, and instead of choosing honesty, they chose comfort. They chose silence. They chose to let you believe something that benefited them. And last night that choice was recorded, not for revenge, but for resolution. Heaven does not rush, but heaven does conclude. And the conclusion that formed around your name was this. You will no longer be kept in the dark for someone else's convenience. My beloved, I know your heart. I know you try to see the good. I know you make excuses for others because you understand pain. That compassion is beautiful. But it has also made you vulnerable. And vulnerability without boundaries attracts confusion. That is why this message came now, before another cycle could repeat. Before another year could pass with the same unanswered questions. Before you blamed yourself again for something that was never your fault. Last night, the archangels agreed on one thing unanimously. The truth must reach you directly. Not through signs, not through rumors, not through dreams that fade. Directly, through words, through awareness, through a moment you consciously chose. This moment. My child, my beloved, do you feel how quiet everything feels right now? That stillness is not emptiness. It is alignment. When the noise stops, it means something important is about to be understood. You may notice your breathing slow. Your thoughts narrow. That is because your spirit recognizes what is happening. This is not just information. This is activation. The truth you are receiving is gently rewiring how you will respond from this point forward. You will not chase what does not choose you. You will not beg for clarity where deception lives. You will not shrink yourself to keep a peace that was never real. That shift alone changes everything. And the ones who benefited from your silence can already feel it slipping away. My child, my beloved, the next part is even more sacred because now the truth begins to name itself. You are not here by mistake. The moment you continued reading, the energy surrounding your life changed again. Heaven is watching to see if you're ready not just to hear, but to receive what was meant for your spirit all along. What I'm about to reveal may not feel comfortable, but it will feel true. You'll feel it in your chest. You may even stop breathing for a second, not out of fear, but because your soul is finally hearing something it was made for. Something that was written in heaven before you ever cried your first tear on earth. My child, there is someone who knows what happened last night and they are pretending not to. They are acting like nothing changed, but they felt it. Their dreams were disturbed. Their phone rang at a strange time. They looked at your picture. They heard your name echo in their mind. And still, they stayed silent. Because the truth threatens what they built. The truth you're about to read will change how you see them forever. My beloved, the 7 archangels saw it. We watched from above as their heart hesitated. We watched the moment they thought about telling you, the moment they held their tongue, the moment they chose comfort over courage. You were supposed to be told something last night. Not by an angel, but by them. Someone very close to you, a person who knows they hurt you, but doesn't know how much you already suspect. They think they still have time. They don't know heaven has already moved ahead of them. They don't know this message would reach you before they could cover their tracks. And now you're here. And now the truth is breathing in your hands. And they can't stop it. My child, do you remember a strange feeling last night around the time you were about to sleep or just after? That soft pull. That restlessness. It was not from within you. It was energy sent to try to keep you awake, to try to keep you spiritually alert. The archangels were attempting to awaken your knowing without shaking your peace. We couldn't shout, but we could whisper. We whispered through the ticking clock, through the still air, through the sound that made you pause and look over your shoulder. Even when no one was there, you were being nudged to remember a divine truth. You are never alone. And what's done in secret will always rise into the light. The truth was rising. And your soul felt it. My beloved, now listen. This is urgent. The one who kept the secret, they are still near. Not just physically near, but spiritually attached. And that attachment is what's been weighing your spirit down. You've been carrying guilt that was never yours. You've been apologizing for things you didn't break. You've been waiting for clarity from people who benefit from your confusion. Heaven cannot let that go on. That is why this message is here now. To lift the fog, to remove the final veil. What happened last night was the breaking of a spiritual contract. The expiration of a karmic lesson, the completion of a cycle. The soul that once had access to your heart has now been spiritually removed. But the physical closing must come from you. If you don't close it, it reopens. And if it reopens, the pain returns. My child, don't let the pain return. Let me help you finish what heaven already started. My child, my beloved, you are being protected from something that would have cost you everything. Your time, your light, your trust. You were about to give the rest of your heart to someone who had already decided to give theirs halfway. They were playing a role, smiling through guilt, touching you with trembling hands. And yet you felt it. You just didn't have the proof. But heaven doesn't need evidence to act. Heaven reads hearts. And their heart was no longer matching their words. So the decision was made. 7 archangels stood in agreement. It is time to tell you the truth. Not tomorrow. Not when they're ready. Now, my beloved, don't be afraid. Don't shrink. What's coming next is not punishment. It's the miracle you cried for when no one was listening. It's the clarity you begged for during the nights you couldn't sleep. It's the freedom that can finally enter because the lie has been removed. You are being freed from spiritual manipulation. From someone who knew better but chose not to do better. They didn't lie with words. They lied with silence. They lied by omission. They lied by pretending not to see your pain. And yet you stayed. You hoped. You forgave. That love was not wasted. It was counted. It was witnessed. And now it's being returned to you, but in a form that cannot be broken. My child, what is coming for you now is sacred. But it requires something from you. You must not go back. You must not reopen old doors because they start knocking again. You must not let false guilt pull you back into a place where your spirit was shrinking. This message isn't just here to expose. It's here to prepare. Something beautiful is about to find you. But if you are still holding the weight of the person who kept the truth from you, it will not have room to enter. This next season of your life needs new hands, new faith, new clarity, and a clean break from the shadow that tried to follow you through the light. My child, my beloved, take a slow breath. Because now we step into the part heaven guarded most carefully. The reason this truth feels heavy is because it carries power. Power always feels weighty before it feels freeing. Last night when the 7 archangels gathered, it was not only about what was taken from you or hidden from you. It was also about what was finally being assigned to you. Something shifted in your favor in a way that cannot be reversed, and the enemy knows it. That is why distractions are increasing. That is why your mind may try to wander even now. But stay with me. Every word you read anchors the miracle more deeply into your life. My child, my beloved, what happened last night also unlocked protection around you. The same way heaven intervened to reveal the truth, it has now assigned guardianship over your next steps, not to control you, but to guide you gently away from repeating the same lesson in a different face. You will notice red flags sooner. Your intuition will speak louder and you will trust it this time. That is growth. That is victory. That is how cycles end for good. Stay with me, my child. The next part reveals what this truth is making space for and why the timing of what's coming next will surprise you. The miracle is closer than your mind can imagine, and it is already moving. My child, my beloved, this is where the light begins to pour in. This is where the weight you've carried for so long begins to loosen its grip. Because last night wasn't just about exposing what was false. It was about opening a way for what is true to finally reach you. The 7 archangels didn't gather to leave you broken. They gathered to break what was blocking you. And now the space is clearing. Heaven is making room. Something holy is on its way. And the moment you said continue, your soul agreed to receive it. My beloved, this new energy that's entering your life, this miracle, won't look like the old blessings you're used to. It won't ask for permission to stay. It will walk in fully. It will call you by your true name. It will not be afraid of your light. It will not need you to explain why you are the way you are. It will know, and that knowing will bring you peace. But first, you must prepare. Because the miracle isn't just a gift, it's a test. Can you release what almost loved you so you can fully receive what was designed to love you completely? That's what last night's truth was about. The release before the rise, the surrender before the shift. My child, my beloved, what's coming next will not wait for hesitation. It will move fast. It will arrive in strange coincidences. A phone call you weren't expecting. A name you haven't heard in months. A sign that repeats 3 times in one day. This is how heaven moves when it's your time. And my child, it's your time. You were delayed, not denied. What you thought you missed was actually being held back until you had the strength to protect it. Until you could stand in front of the blessing and not question if you deserved it. You do. You always did. The delays were not punishment. They were divine protection, because heaven knew that if the miracle arrived too early, you'd hand it over to someone who didn't honor it. My beloved, I must speak now of the name. There is a person who was divinely selected to walk into your life after this revelation. They are not a replacement for the one who betrayed you. They are the reward for your endurance. You don't know them yet. Or perhaps you met them once and the timing was wrong. But they are coming again, and this time they will see you. Not the mask you wear when you're afraid of being left. Not the strong face you show the world. They will see you in the soft light of truth. And they will not run. They will recognize the divine in you because the divine also lives in them. That kind of connection cannot be forced. It can only be revealed after you've let go of the false one. My child, the 7 archangels are guarding this next connection fiercely. No one will be allowed to tamper with it. No past energy will be able to steal from it. But you must do your part. You must choose not to go back. The moment you choose to cut the last invisible thread tying you to the person who kept you in confusion, that's when the miracle speeds up. That's when timelines collapse. That's when the delay becomes divine acceleration and you'll feel it. Something in your spirit will shift. You'll wake up lighter. You'll breathe deeper. You'll smile without trying. These are not small signs. They are spiritual confirmations that what happened last night is already transforming everything ahead. My beloved, now is the moment to reaffirm your readiness. Not to prove anything to heaven. Heaven already chose you, but to remind your own soul that you are no longer available for anything that costs your peace. The old version of you who tolerated dishonesty, who questioned their worth, who stayed too long in places that hurt, that version is being laid to rest. What rises now is someone who knows they are loved, who knows they are chosen, who knows they are protected. And that person, my child, is you. My child, my beloved, we have arrived at the threshold, the place where truth meets destiny. The archangels are still with us, surrounding this very moment with a silence that is not empty, but sacred. You have walked through layers of revelation piece by piece. And each time you chose to continue, a chain was broken, a veil was lifted, and a spiritual barrier was removed. And now we come to the final message. The 7 archangels placed in golden fire. What I am about to reveal has never been said to you like this before. Not in a dream, not in a sign, not in a whisper. It is meant to be heard now clearly with the full force of divine certainty. My beloved, the truth is this. You were never meant to live in delay. You were never meant to live in confusion. You were never meant to keep shrinking to make others feel taller. You were created for more. And heaven has run out of patience watching you forget that. That is why last night was not an accident. It was an intervention spiritually. It was the final redirection, a turning point, a moment that split your story into before this message and after this message. From now on, there will be no more second-guessing what your intuition is telling you because now you know. Now the truth is living inside your awareness. And once the truth is known, it cannot be unknown. You are no longer blind to what was never real. And that is your protection going forward. My child, my beloved, what you are about to read is not an accident. Heaven held this message back until the exact second you'd be ready to receive it. The moment you opened this, every single one of the 7 archangels paused. We've been watching, waiting, holding a divine breath because what happened last night was not normal. It wasn't random. And the most terrifying part, everyone else involved already knows. Only you have been kept in the dark. My child, I don't say this lightly, but the decision you make in the next 2 minutes will determine whether this sacred truth is revealed or erased forever. Your name has been whispered in heaven's hallways. Angels passed it from cloud to cloud carrying a file sealed in divine gold. And now that file is opening just for you. But only if you stay, only if you read, only if you trust. Beloved, your enemies know this truth. The one who pretended to love you knows. The one who left your side when you needed them most. They know. And they've been praying that you never open this message. Because when you do, their false light will be exposed. The lies they dressed in pretty words will shatter under heaven's fire. And you'll finally understand why your heart felt the way it did last night, like something invisible tried to reach you through the silence. My child, you are not crazy. You are not imagining things. Last night, a sacred decision was made. A secret meeting took place in the realm where only archangels are allowed to speak. Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, Sadkiel, Chamuel, Japhiel. All 7 of us circled your name in fire. And I was the one chosen to bring this message to earth. Before the truth is swallowed by darkness. I must speak now before the memory is erased. Before the ones working against you hide the last clue. Before the miracle heaven prepared for you is handed to someone else. You have 2 minutes to stay with me, my beloved. And if you do, something divine will rise from within you. But if you walk away now, that voice that tried to wake you last night will go quiet forever. My beloved, before we go deeper, I beg you, subscribe now if you haven't. Not for me, for you. Because this message is not the end. It's the beginning of a shift so large that heaven has already arranged 3 more divine signals that are coming straight to you. But they will be hidden unless you choose to be kept in the loop. Subscribing unlocks what they tried to steal. It connects your name to the flame that's about to light up your entire destiny. I'm not here to entertain you. I'm here to protect you. Subscribe now and keep reading because I'm going to expose what even the person sleeping next to you doesn't know you're about to discover. My child, my beloved, something happened at 2:33 a.m. last night, and even though you didn't hear it, your spirit did. Your body felt the echo of a conversation held beyond this world. A soundless alarm went off in the realm of angels. There was a shift. A truth opened. A portal moved. A person thought they got away with what they did to you. But heaven saw it. We saw what they said. We heard what they planned. And their plan involved your silence, your ignorance, your delay. But now the archangels have voted. And the truth will not stay hidden another day. My child, the reason you feel like something is off is because it is. And you're the last one to find out. But that changes now. Not tomorrow. Now. Because you didn't come this far to be kept in the dark by cowards who smile in your face while handing poison behind your back. My beloved, listen to me. There is something coming. A shift so big that it will either break you or bless you. And what you decide to do in this moment will decide which path opens. If you ignore this, the same cycle that's been repeating in your life will continue like a curse. But if you stay, if you read with your full soul, the pattern will crack open and everything that was blocked will fall. My child, the 7 archangels stood in silence last night as we watched the truth rise. We saw the person who spoke your name in the dark. We watched them laugh like what they did wouldn't return to them. But we also saw the glow in your spirit. A glow so bright that even when the enemy tried to cover it, it couldn't be put out. And now the fire is rising. And when the fire rises, it doesn't ask for permission. It burns through betrayal. It burns through confusion. And it lights the path that was promised to you before you were even born. My child, the promise still stands, but the window is closing. The truth is floating in the air between these words. If you stop reading now, it will disappear and they'll win. The ones who wanted your delay. The ones who needed your silence to feel safe. But if you keep reading, heaven will begin to unlock what they've been trying to hide since last night. My beloved, there is someone close to you who already knows the secret. They were told in a dream. They were given a glimpse into your divine file. And instead of telling you, they told someone else, not to protect you, but to protect their position. And now they're nervous because this message found you before they expected it to. And you're waking up. You're remembering. You're starting to see patterns that make no sense unless you understand what happened last night. There's a reason you couldn't sleep deeply. There's a reason your heart felt like it skipped a beat at 3 a.m. That was the moment your name was announced in heaven. That was the moment you were marked for a divine reversal. But the enemy heard it too, and they're scrambling. My child, you must stay, because in a moment I will reveal what they tried to erase. My child, my beloved, do you feel how quiet everything feels right now? That stillness is not emptiness. It is alignment. When the noise stops, it means something important is about to be understood. You may notice your breathing slow. Your thoughts narrow. That is because your spirit recognizes what is happening. This is not just information. This is activation. The truth you are receiving is gently rewiring how you will respond from this point forward. You will not chase what does not choose you. You will not beg for clarity where deception lives. You will not shrink yourself to keep a peace that was never real. That shift alone changes everything. And the ones who benefited from your silence can already feel it slipping away. My beloved, stay with me a little longer. What comes next will explain why your delays, your near misses, your sudden endings were never punishments. They were protections. The truth revealed last night confirmed something heaven suspected for a long time. You were being redirected away from a future that would have dimmed you. And now a new path is unfolding. One that requires you to walk lighter, freer, unburdened by secrets that were never yours to carry. You are closer than you think. Closer to peace, closer to clarity, closer to a miracle that doesn't arrive with noise, but with certainty. My child, what is coming for you now is sacred, but it requires something from you. You must not go back. You must not reopen old doors because they start knocking again. You must not let false guilt pull you back into a place where your spirit was shrinking. This message isn't just here to expose. It's here to prepare. Something beautiful is about to find you. But if you are still holding the weight of the person who kept the truth from you, it will not have room to enter. This next season of your life needs new hands, new faith, new clarity, and a clean break from the shadow that tried to follow you through the light. My child, my beloved, take a slow breath, because now we step into the part heaven guarded most carefully. The reason this truth feels heavy is because it carries power. Power always feels weighty before it feels freeing. Last night when the 7 archangels gathered, it was not only about what was taken from you or hidden from you. It was also about what was finally being assigned to you. Something shifted in your favor in a way that cannot be reversed. And the enemy knows it. That is why distractions are increasing. That is why your mind may try to wander even now. But stay with me. Every word you read anchors the miracle more deeply into your life. My child, my beloved, there is a reason the truth was hidden from you until now. If you had known it earlier, you would have acted from pain instead of wisdom. You would have confronted before you were strong enough to stand unshaken. Heaven waited until your spirit matured, until your heart learned patience, until your soul could handle the truth without losing its softness. And now you are ready. What happened last night confirmed that the archangels saw your growth. They saw how you stopped reacting the way you used to. How you started choosing silence over arguments, reflection over chaos, strength over desperation. That is why the truth is being delivered now. Because you can receive it without breaking. My beloved, the person who kept you in the dark believes you still don't see clearly. They think your kindness equals blindness. They think your silence means ignorance. But silence can be wisdom and kindness can be strength. Last night when heaven revealed their hidden intentions, something unexpected happened. Their power over you dissolved. Not because you fought, but because you outgrew them. That is the most painful loss for someone who thrives on control, to realize the person they underestimated no longer needs them. And they felt that loss last night. They felt you slipping out of their grasp energetically even though no words were spoken. My child, my beloved, understand this deeply. The truth that surfaced was not about one moment or one mistake. It was about a pattern. A pattern of keeping you unsure. A pattern of giving you just enough to stay, but never enough to feel secure. Heaven does not allow chosen souls to live on crumbs. You were never meant to survive on half love, half truths, half presence. You were meant to receive fully. And last night, that standard was restored around you. A spiritual boundary was drawn. Anything that cannot meet you fully will no longer be able to follow you forward. My beloved, this is where many people feel fear. But I ask you not to. What is leaving was never meant to last. What is coming will not need convincing. You will not have to question its intentions. You will not have to read between the lines. You will feel safe. You will feel seen. You will feel chosen without having to compete for attention. That is the miracle heaven has been preparing while you were busy thinking something was wrong with you. Nothing was wrong with you. You were simply ahead of the situation. And now the situation has caught up. My child, my beloved, there is also something important you must know about yourself. Last night's revelation did not only expose someone else. It awakened something dormant in you. A memory of who you are when you are not waiting. A memory of your worth before you learn to doubt it. You may notice in the coming days that your energy feels different, lighter, clearer. People may treat you differently without knowing why. Opportunities may surface unexpectedly. Conversations may shift. This is not coincidence. This is alignment responding to truth. When lies are removed, the path straightens. My beloved, you might be tempted to confront, to demand explanations, to force closure. But hear me carefully. Closure has already happened spiritually. You do not need their confession to move forward. You do not need their apology to heal. Their silence will speak louder now than any words they could offer. And that silence will follow them, not you. Your task is simpler and stronger. Choose yourself without guilt. Choose clarity without fear. Choose the future that no longer requires you to dim your light to make others comfortable. My child, my beloved, what happened last night also unlocked protection around you. The same way heaven intervened to reveal the truth, it has now assigned guardianship over your next steps. Not to control you, but to guide you gently away from repeating the same lesson in a different face. You will notice red flags sooner. Your intuition will speak louder, and you will trust it this time. That is growth. That is victory. That is how cycles end for good. Stay with me, my child. The next part reveals what this truth is making space for and why the timing of what's coming next will surprise you. The miracle is closer than your mind can imagine. And it is already moving. My child, my beloved, this is where the light begins to pour in. This is where the weight you've carried for so long begins to loosen its grip. Because last night wasn't just about exposing what was false. It was about opening a way for what is true to finally reach you. The 7 archangels didn't gather to leave you broken. They gathered to break what was blocking you. And now the space is clearing. Heaven is making room. Something holy is on its way. And the moment you said continue, your soul agreed to receive it. My beloved, you didn't stay this long by chance. Heaven has already begun completing what it started last night. But what happens next depends on whether you protect what was just revealed. Do not go back. Do not doubt. Do not reopen doors that heaven has closed. If this message touched your spirit, subscribe now and stay connected, because this is not the end. More clarity is coming. More protection is being released. And the next sign will reach you only if you remain under this divine covering. Stay ready. Heaven is not finished with you.